guys, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. There has been an update in the Bardstown 3 case, and I was going to do a pre-record to post, but I decided just to go ahead and go live and dig the updates with you all. I know some of you may not be familiar with the Bardstown 3. Hey, single mom, how are you? Welcome in. But we'll go over it tonight, and that's actually, I know I'd scheduled this for 10, and then it went to 11:20, and now here I am coming on at 10:30, but yeah, I thought it wouldn't hurt to come a little bit earlier than the 11:20, that way to catch everybody up on the Bardstown 3, because it's not an easy case to keep track of if you've not been following from the beginning. Hey, Liza, good to see you. So single mom, have you heard of Crystal Rogers? The Bardstown 3 is a case that I talk about in my Kentucky Facebook group a lot. It's very close to my heart. It's something that I followed for years. And basically, the belief is that there's 3 cases that's unsolved that's connected in Bardstown. Well, recently, the Crystal Rogers case broke wide open, and now there's been an arrest and there's going to be a trial. So we're hoping with that arrest, they can solve the other 2. Today, there was a search in relation to the Bardstown 3 cases. We don't know which one, but okay, so yeah, Crystal Rogers is one of the Bardstown 3, then single mom. Liza, I don't know if you're familiar with this one, but I know we've talked about it a little bit. Give me just a moment here. We'll go ahead and start with a quick news clip here. Just to give an overview of the new activity in the case today. Give me just a second. Let me get to it over here, but we'll go ahead and watch this. Uh-oh, I have no sound. Just a second, guys. So this is drone footage of authorities searching property on Thomas Hill Road in the Nelson County area for evidence in the unsolved Bardstown 3 murders. They went out there and they dug a hole. I guess they had excavators out there. FBI, state police, and local law enforcement was all there, is my understanding. I don't think there's any sound on this video. But, okay, so just quickly, we don't know which case this is related to. However, we do know that Crystal Rogers is the only one out of the 3 whose body has not been found. Her father, Tommy Ballard, is another one of the Bardstown 3, and it is believed that the weapon was found already that was used in his murder. And it's believed that it was bought by an undercover cop. Excuse me. It's thought that it was bought by an undercover cop from Nick Houck, which is Brooke Houck's brother, who is currently been arrested and awaiting trial for the murder of Crystal Rogers. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody has a little bit of an understanding of the Bardstown 3. Well, thank you for joining us, Ava. I like your name. Let's see. Okay, yeah, and like I said, I want to make sure everybody has a little bit of an understanding of the Bardstown 3 before we head in. That's why I came a little earlier. That way we can discuss the update properly, because they didn't really tell us anything specific, but some clues were dropped, I feel. So that's kind of what I want to dig tonight. So what we'll start with is the overview of Crystal Rogers' case. Give me just a second. I love you too, single mom. You're a sweetheart. You're always here, and I appreciate that. Okay, so this is Crystal Rogers. Let me make sure you guys are able to see that. I'm only working with one monitor tonight. Okay, yeah. So this is Crystal Rogers. says on July 5th of 2015, Crystal Rogers was reported missing by her mother after she had not been seen or heard from since the evening of July 3rd, 2015. The same day Rogers was reported missing, her car was found abandoned with a flat tire at mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. Rogers' keys, phone, and purse were still inside her red Chevy Impala. Rogers is the mother of 5 children and is not known to go anywhere without her children. Great mother, guys. Never heard anything poor about her parenting. On November 19th of 2016, Rogers' father, Tommy Ballard, was shot and killed on a property near Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. So, Crystal will be number 1 out of the Bardstown 3. Now that leads us into Tommy. Let me switch over here and we will look at Tommy and skim over him real quick, and then we'll kind of bring the 3 together. And if I'm confusing anyone, please let me know and I'll stop and explain better. I don't want to give you all any information that you already have or be a repeat of information, but I want to make sure that we kind of have an idea of how the Bardstown 3 is connected and what we're looking for in these updates. Okay, this is Tommy Ballard. This is Crystal Rogers' father. He was murdered after Crystal. So it says, after his daughter Crystal Rogers disappeared in July of 2015, Tommy Ballard created Team Crystal Group of Bardstown, Kentucky community members dedicated to finding Crystal and bringing her home. Guys, he is the parent you would want out to get your justice. I'm telling you, him and his wife, the whole family, really, they have never let Crystal let her case die. They have never let that happen. They have completely, just, it's almost like they've put life on hold until they get justice. Not that they're not living or anything, but they're not letting it go. They have been persistent enough to give the FBI. They now have, it is no doubt the Ballards who got the special prosecutor on this case. I really feel like their efforts and they're not letting this go is what helped, because they are not no-name players in this. Brooks House is a millionaire, or however you would describe that. He has a lot of money. His bill's $10 million, and they feel that that's reasonable, if that tells you anything. And, in Kentucky, you don't hear of people with that kind of money going down very often. So her family has definitely kept this alive. And then once Tommy was murdered, his wife and the rest carried the torch. They kept going. And now it looks like we're close to getting justice for him. Anyways, it says on the morning of November 19th, 2016, 16 months after Crystal's disappearance, Ballard was preparing for a hunting trip with his 12-year-old grandson, excuse me, on family property next to Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, Kentucky. An unknown subject fired one shot and hit Ballard in the chest and instantly killed him. So I think what they were trying to do was make this look like a hunting accident. Okay, so keep in mind that Tommy was shot in the chest, correct? On a hunting trip. So it is believed, I believe, and anybody else in here who knows the case, let me know if you agree with this or not. But the special prosecutor during this, the arraignment of Brooks or whatever, he let it be known that, I forget what year, but they had an undercover officer who bought the weapon they believe killed Tommy Ballard. They're still waiting for all the tests to come in so that it's conclusive. However, it's his belief, and it's looking that they bought the weapon that killed Tommy Ballard off of Nick Houck, which is the brother of Brooke House, who is arrested and awaiting trial for Crystal Rogers' murder. So the belief is that he was killed because he was close to finding Crystal. Yeah, he was killed 16 months after Crystal disappeared. Like I said, he done a lot of work and a lot of searching, and he got a lot of stuff going, a lot of answers. So, all right. So there's Crystal and Tommy. The third of the Bardstown 3 is Jason Ellis. He was an officer. The best way I thought to touch on him, there's a really good article. It's not too old, not too new, but it's an article that came out around the arrest of Brooke House. And like I said, they believe these 3 are connected. They have a special prosecutor in right now. And let me tell you guys, he's a rock star. He's making things move. So I'm going to read this from WHAS 11, where we're actually going to watch the video and then we're going to read it here. But it'll be a good introduction into his case and help give an understanding and give us just enough information so that we can discuss maybe how these three are connected and whom the update might be about. Let's see if it'll load. Here, if it loads, we'll stop, but let's maybe. Okay, give me just a second here. Hey, Level, how are you tonight? Always good to see you here. Oh, I got 4 watching. I didn't expect that many at this time. This isn't my normal time. Okay, let's see. Here, guys, let me try to bring it up in another screen. Just a second here. Does any of you know anything about Jason Ellis? Because this is one of the, I feel like, lesser known of the Bardstown 3. Okay, this is a good one too, so let's try that. Give me just a second and I'll share this screen with you guys. I hope my sound's okay tonight. I didn't think to check it first. Yeah, WHAS isn't the best, huh? I mean, they're the best coverage, I think. I'm partial to them, but it's not the best website. And it could very well be my connection too. My internet is not the best right now. Okay, here we go.
217,000 information leading to a marks 10 years since Bardstown officer Jason Ellis was killed on his way home from work. The reward for information leading to an arrest now sits at $217,000. The 33-year-old officer was driving home when he came across branches blocking exit 34 of the Bluegrass Parkway. When Ellis got out of his car to move the branches, investigators say he was ambushed and shot several times. Friends and colleagues were shocked when they learned Ellis had been murdered.
Just wanting answers and wanting them sooner than later. That's obviously not been the case. However, patience is a virtue. So we have no other option but to be patient and continue to work.
A memorial to remember Officer Ellis is tonight. It's at 6 at the Bardstown Police Department. And from there, a procession will drive Ellis's final route before ending at Highview Cemetery in Chaplin.
Okay. So there's a little overview here. I thought there was more in that one. Oh, sorry. Let me just get on that.
Natasha.
Okay. Let me pull up a couple dates here for Jason Ellis to make sure, because honestly, I didn't hear in the beginning of that if they gave any information about the parkway like I wanted you all to know, or if they gave away any information as far as location, because they were searching a location today and I thought we could compare that, and I can't remember which one it is. Oh, is it going to load now? We're just not going to play any videos, guys. We're just going to read this one because I don't want to try to wait 10 years and a day for it to load, you know. Okay, Jason Ellis, 33, was shot and killed on May 25th of 2013. Ellis had just finished working a shift with the Bardstown Police Department and was on his way home when he saw something unusual, which were branches blocking an exit ramp off the Bluegrass Parkway. So it's the belief that someone blocked the parkway knowing that he would get out and move the branches, and then he was killed. It was past midnight, nearly 3 a.m., and despite having just signed off for the night, Ellis pulled over to clear the debris and ensure future drivers were safe. As he worked to remove the branches, someone shot the Bardstown officer several times, fatally wounding him. Investigators have since called it an ambush, the tree debris luring him from his car so they could kill him. Investigators have never fully linked the Ellis case to the Rogers case, but in a 2020 interview with the FBI, Assistant Special Agent in charge Brian Jones said that he believed answers in one Bardstown case could lead to others. The Ellis family agrees. So I think what it is there's a lot of corruption in this area, and they feel breaking one will solve the others. There's also a case that they don't name with this called the Netherland Girls. And if you guys are interested in hearing about that, it happened around the same time, and a lot of people believe it was connected. They say that the lady was a teacher of Jason Ellis' daughter. So that would be the connection, but let me know if you guys want to hear about that one, and we'll touch on it. It's my belief that they never connect this to the Bardstown 3 because the family has never asked them to, like the Ellis family and the Ballard family has. Okay. Goes on to say Kelly Eastman, Ellis' sister, said, "It's hard not to go there too because there seem to be similar people connected to each case in some ways without saying too much. Because of the preconceived connection, news of the arrest in Rogers' case was welcomed and surprising." So this is when the Lawson boy got arrested, not Brooks' house. So there's 2 people actually been arrested for Crystal. I guess I could have started with there. So let's see. It's hard not to be caught off guard. You scroll Facebook or pop on the news, and there's all these new developments, and you're like, oh, I just got this new article from a friend, and an investigator can't even call me and tell me this is coming down the pipeline, Young said. I would like to think that the communication has improved with families, because I do know that it was reported that they did know about the search that was done for the last 3 days. So we won't read the rest of it because it's basically just the family talking about things from previous years. So you get the gist of it. So those 3 cases are all unsolved and thought to be connected. They call them the Bardstown 3. Today, there was an update. Today, Shay McAllister reported, "Hey, Farq, how are you? Good to see you." But today, Shay McAllister reported that there had been a search going on in relation to the Bardstown 3 for the last 3 days. So if you guys don't mind, I thought we could watch that live. So give me just a moment. Or actually, let's watch about the Crystal Rogers bombshell right before we do this live, if that's okay with you guys. Just in case it touches on a little more. I don't want anyone to be too lost when we're doing the update, because if you don't know a little about the Bardstown 3, then the update's really not going to be that exciting, or wouldn't be to me. Okay.
After last month's massive solar flare added a 25th hour to the day.
And this is WH11.
And right now, tonight at 4, the murder mysteries in Bardstown are becoming clearer with each different court appearance. Breaking news from the arraignment of Brooks Houck this afternoon in Nelson County. Houck appearing via live video for his first court appearance in the murder of Crystal Rogers. And then the surprise no one saw coming. Prosecutors dropping a major bombshell in this case, which has been full of them. Key evidence in the murder of Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard. Our coverage begins right now at 4. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Doug Proffitt. The courtroom packed with family members stunned to learn that prosecutors have the gun they believe was used to kill Tommy Ballard, who was actively leading the search for his daughter. WHS 11 Shay McAllister and chief photojournalist Philip Merle are in Bardstown right now. And Shay, everyone was there to learn if Houck's $10 million bond would hold up. So how did this news about Tommy Ballard come out today?
Oh, Doug, well, when you think about a courtroom hearing here, there's a lot of things you expect to happen, and especially in an arraignment, and those things did happen. We talked about the bond reduction. They talked about the thousands, literally thousands of pages of evidence in the case. They also talked about a possible move of venue later on for trial. Here's what we didn't expect. A bombshell in another unsolved Bardstown case. The prosecutor telling us not only are they investigating Tommy Ballard's death, they think they know who was responsible. In front of a packed courtroom, another shocker.
Oh no.
Small town murder mystery that just keeps twisting and turning.
Here, guys, I'm going to pause it for just a second. Let it load.
For the first time, for who investigators believe killed Tommy Ballard. Special prosecutor Shane Young saying they are currently testing a gun that belonged to Nick Houck.
This is what I was telling you all earlier.
The murder of Tommy Ballard that could potentially be related to this case. We are waiting for testing to come back on the firearm we believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard, a firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck, who was using a fake name when he sold the rifle.
The prosecutor going into detail about why he believes it will be a match.
You know, it's the same caliber. There's 5 criteria that they're looking at, and so far it's matched 4 of the 5 criteria.
In the front row of the courtroom, the Ballard family looked stunned, Sherry's eyes filling with tears. It was a moment this family has been waiting for.
That feel real good. We thought it all along, but after prosecuting Shane made that statement, we felt a whole lot better, and I think it won't be too long.
He thinks Nick Houck could be the next arrest, but he and Brooks weren't the only ones from the Houck family mentioned in the courtroom. Prosecutor Shane Young accused the family of violating Kentucky law by secretly recording grand jury proceedings.
Defendant's sister, Rhonda McAvoy Houck, brother Nicholas Houck, mother Rosemary Houck, brother-in-law Alex McAvoy.
Whole family just bad.
And Rosemary Houck's live-in boyfriend, Larry Monk, all recorded, secretly brought in recorders and recorded the grand jury. I've been practicing here, Your Honor, for 25 years in this state, and I've yet, ever heard of anyone recording a grand jury.
He alleged the family was trying to get their story straight, trying to solidify a lie.
It's been stated before, the truth will set you free. The problem in this matter is the truth will imprison Brooks Houck.
Boom.
And we're asking Your Honor to keep the bond the same.
The defense did submit a request to lower the bond. It was what we thought would be the most interesting part of court today, but it was only covered briefly. The defense wants it lowered from $10 million to $500,000. Attorney Brian Butler called the current bond oppressive.
The grand jury out of Nelson County to set this bond, I had been practicing 28 years. I had never heard of a bond even coming close to this.
And I can tell you, I've never asked for a $10 million bond. This is the first multi-millionaire I've prosecuted for murder.
Young alleges Houck's construction companies, rental properties, and real estate is worth $10 million, if not more. He says this bond is fair for someone who has so much to lose. Ultimately, the judge asked for more time to review the new information. He says he'll make a decision later. And as the courtroom emptied, we had some questions for Rosemary Houck, Brooks' mom. Rosemary, the special prosecutor accused you of violating Kentucky law today. What do you have to say about that?
Your son's involved in the deaths of
Did your son Nick kill Tommy Ballard?
Rogers. Anything you'd like to
Did your
say?
son kill Tommy Ballard, Miss Houck?
I love Shay. She is so great.
Is there anything you'd like to say? She didn't stop to provide any answers about her son Nick and the new accusations that he killed Tommy Ballard. But Tommy's dad had these final words.
I'm hoping he'll be the next one arrested.
In a case that continues to stun Kentucky and the nation, another bombshell comes out of court. One the Ballard family hopes is bringing them that much closer to real justice. And the next court date is set for February, right here in Nelson County. Of course, eventually It won't be here in Nelson County. The defense already told us today they do plan to ask for a change for this trial to be held in a different county so that Brooks Houck can have a fair trial. Now let's dive into that a little bit more. Everyone in the United States has the right to a fair trial, something that Houck's defense team is working hard to guarantee for their own client. So what would a trial with this much media attention actually look like?
Okay, we'll stop there. We can get into that later because they're still talking about that, and that's not a sure thing. And I want to stay on track with the update tonight. Let's go ahead and close that out. Now, with the update today, I seen Shay go live, and when she went live, she was at the location on Thompson Hill Road. And I thought it would be kind of cool if we watched the live together because I didn't get to see the whole thing. And just discuss it and kind of try to figure out, because they didn't tell us which one. They can't tell us which one of the three they were investigating, but it's one of the three. And remember, Crystal's the only body that hasn't been recovered yet. However, it's always possible that they could be looking for evidence, but then if they're looking for evidence, we know that they've already got the weapon, quite possibly in the Tommy Ballard case. So I'm just not sure, but I feel like a few hints were dropped, and I thought we would listen to those together. There we go.
Nelson County right now on the site of the latest search in connection to one of the Bardstown cases. I'm going to be filling you guys.
Yeah, look, they had a big old excavators.
Then on all of the updates that I have. But what you can see right now is heavy excavating equipment being driven away from this site. It's going to get loud, so I'm going to pause. We've got more trucks on the way. I'm going to give you guys the full update here once they pass me, just because it is so loud.
Remember, this is on the Nelson Bullitt County line in the Cox Creek area on Thompson Hill Road.
All right, that was the last of them. Hey guys, Shay McAllister here. I'm live in Nelson County to explain exactly where we're at. We are right near the Nelson County, Bullitt County line, right in between Mount Washington and Bardstown. The road is Thompson Hill Road, right off of Deatsville. It's an incredibly rural area, you can see here. And I was just able to confirm in the last few minutes that this is the site of the latest search in connection to the Bardstown cases. Very important to note here, this is may not be in connection to Crystal Rogers. The special prosecutor on this case would not tell me which of the Bardstown cases we're talking about here. You're looking from the road. This is where we are allowed to be. The search was happening up above this hill back at a property here. We know this is in connection to the Bardstown cases. We know that that includes Crystal Rogers, Tommy Ballard, and Jason Ellis. We don't know which of those three cases this search is connected to, but it was one of those. So I'm going to flip the camera around here in just a second, because as you can see, not much more. I actually got you guys here on live as the final equipment was driving away. Well, I don't know if they were driving away for the day, for a few minutes. We don't have that information. So, hey, everybody, Shay McAllister here. We're live in Nelson County. Exactly.
So if I'm not mistaken, and we'll make sure we'll watch the latest update on the news, but if I'm not mistaken, it is over now. Like, they have confirmed that the search they were doing is complete.
Location, somewhere we haven't been before for a search. This road here is
And
Thompson.
also, for those who just aren't very familiar with this case, Shay McAllister has been on this case since day one. And it's evident that her persistence has kept the public in the know. She has gave us so many answers on this case. She has been a fangirl over Shay McAllister. I'm not even going to lie. She's the reporter anybody wants to be, and then she's the reporter you want to have on a case because she gets the info.
Hill Road. It's near the Bullitt County, Nelson County line. We got this tip actually a couple of days ago. We were just able to confirm that the FBI and Kentucky State Police were involved here just in the last few minutes. Before we were able to confirm it and I was able to share it with all of you, we saw multiple unmarked police cars. We saw the Kentucky Department of Transportation, heavy excavating equipment, all of this right here working on this property. I have been in touch with the Ballard family. I've talked to Sherry. She tells me that she is aware of this. She also does not know which case it is in connection to. When I asked the special prosecutor, are you digging in connection to Crystal Rogers? He said no.
Okay, I'm going to back up just a little bit because I did hear this part and I think it's very telling. Let me know your thoughts.
Property. I have been in touch with the Ballard family. I've talked to Sherry. She tells me that she is aware of this. She also does not know which case it is in connection to. When I asked the special prosecutor, are you digging in connection to Crystal Rogers? He said no, not necessarily, that instead this is one of the 3 Bardstown cases. So I'm going to walk up here.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there for a second and get your all's thoughts. Okay, so he said no to the Crystal Rogers case, not necessarily. That tells me that he was telling Shay without telling her that this does not have to do with Crystal Rogers' case, which then in return does not have to do with Tommy Ballard's case, because we definitely know those are connected. It was brought up at Brooks' arraignment and that his brother was part of that, or they think that they got the weapon from his brother. So that knocks those 2 out for me. And that tells me that this could very well be in connection to the Jason Ellis case, even though they have his body, because they could be looking for evidence. It's my understanding that they don't have the murder weapon. They may. Don't hold me to that because I'm not as knowledgeable in his case as the other 2. But that's my understanding. You agree, 4Q? Yeah, that's exactly the way. I think he told her a lot without telling her anything right there. I definitely do. Okay, let's continue.
And give you guys a little bit of a look, but like I said, there's really not much to see. So I'm going to flip you around so you can get an idea here. This is a rural road. It's Thompson Hill, right? Thompson Hill Road. And there are multiple properties here, lots of farm animals. This isn't far from Bardstown, but it's about equal distance between Bardstown and Mount Washington. For those of you just now hopping on, we are live from the latest search in connection to the unsolved Bardstown cases. That is missing mother of 5, Crystal Rogers, her father, Tommy Ballard, and Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis.
So the area that she's at, I actually have it up on Google right now. Let's look at it. All looks the same to me. We'll go back to that video, by the way. I just wanted to go over here and look real quick. But it all looks the same to me as where she's at right now. Like there is some houses, but like she said, it's an extremely rural area. And I didn't see in that drone footage any bodies of water, but I did notice that there is a few ponds around here. But we have to remember that they were there searching for 3 days as well. So, see, there's houses on this road. I just don't know what houses were there at the time that whatever occurred that they were searching there, what they believe occurred there. But it all pretty much looks the same as the area that they're broadcasting from. Of course, she didn't give a road number, and I don't blame her. Too many crazies out there, and I'm sure whomever lives there now, or if even who lives there was connected, I'm sure she wouldn't want to do that to them. Shay's pretty classy. But let's go back and finish the video. I just wanted to show you guys the area. Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit before we go, just so we can look. Okay. So here is Thompson Hill Road. It dead ends right here, and I feel like they were at that dead end, honestly, but I don't know. But it said that they were on the line in the Cox Creek area. There's Cox Creek. Here's this, you know, so they were around that dead end is my feeling. I don't know, but Cox Creek runs alongside that, so don't quote me on that, guys. That's just me over here making assumptions. A lot of time my assumptions are not right. Well, there's too many houses down here, although I did hear that there was a mobile home at one time on the area, or still is. But see, there's a couple ponds in the area, quite a few actually, so I just wonder if digging's the only thing they done, because I mean, if they were looking for evidence or a body and there's bodies of water around, it looks like they'd be searching them if they weren't too shallow. But anyhow, that kind of gives you the overview of the area. It's a rural area, but not totally out of the way. There's some houses on it. You're welcome, FarQ. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go back to the video to Shay's Live, and let's finish it up. Or discuss it further, I guess I should say. We may not finish it all in one whack.
The reason I'm mentioning all three is because authorities will not tell me which one this was for. They only told me that this is for one of those Bardstown cases. So when we got here several hours ago, we saw dozens of personnel working, multiple unmarked police vehicles, heavy excavating equipment. There was a lot of activity here. Now, things have quieted down. In fact, when we first logged on here just about 5 minutes ago, I got on right in time to show you guys as some of that heavy excavating equipment drove away. And now it's very quiet up there. Here's a look at the area. You can see very rural. We talked to a neighbor who tells us nobody has lived at this property for quite some time. They said that the house back here is like a trailer, and that it is has been vacant for quite some time. Now, I see some of you here are asking about the Netherlands. And the reason I know that it is, the reason I believe it is not the Netherlands is because the special prosecutor, Shane Young from Hardin County, has been assigned by the Attorney General to work on Crystal's case, Tommy's case, and Jason's case. He was not assigned to the Netherlands case. That's why I have no reason to believe that this is the Netherlands. That could be wrong, but that is what I believe here. So I'm going to zoom in, and it's going to be so blurry.
I mentioned the Netherlands.
This is a cell phone video, but
like I said, the Netherlands, some people believe that they're connected to the Bardstown 3, but their family hasn't requested for the FBI or for a special prosecutor is the word. That's what we've been told previous articles. But that was a lady and a girl that was killed. I can't remember their relation, probably mother and daughter, I do believe. I'm not exactly as fluent in that case as the others. It's kind of quiet. However, if you guys want to know more about that, let me know. I'm just not going to throw it into this because while she was live today, I was one of them that was asking if it could be the Netherlands, and that's when she addressed it. And I think it's pretty safe to say it's not.
But that is the property back there. You can see an electrical pole. Back in this area was exactly where they were digging. Multiple Mack trucks, multiple different construction vehicles working with heavy excavating equipment right back in that area. So to let you guys kind of in on the process here on how we were working this is I first got the tip actually from one of our great community tipsters who said, we've noticed a lot of different police vehicles coming in and off of this property. We came out here today. We saw it for ourselves. We've talked to the FBI. We've talked to Kentucky State Police. Ultimately, it was Special Prosecutor Shane Young who was able to confirm that this is a search, part of an investigation in connection to the 3 cases that he is assigned to. That is Crystal Rogers, Jason Ellis, and Tommy Ballard. I'm seeing some good questions on here. People asking what they found. We have no idea on that. And even more specifically, we don't even know what they were looking for. But this is a new location that I have not seen them searching before. I'll give you a look around here so you can see what we are seeing. It is very rural. Like I said, a neighbor told me no one has lived on this property in quite some time. The neighbor I talked to also said that there was other properties here on this road being searched. Now, we only saw any activity right here. I believe they have been here for multiple days, and actually, it looks like there is one more car pulling out now. So you'll see, yep, there's multiple cars coming out now. You guys will actually get to see them come by. The agencies that I know that are here are Kentucky State Police and the FBI.
So I was wrong earlier. Local law enforcement was not there. It was state police and FBI. So I'll correct myself there. Yeah. It's a lot to think about, FARQ, because, wow, I don't know. I feel that the one statement in regards to no, this is not necessarily in relation to Crystal Rogers' case, but it was about the Bardstown 3. I think that pretty much tells us it's Jason Ellis, but I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. Who knows? I just know that Lawson man is in jail and Brooks House is in jail. Nick has been connected by the special prosecutor to be connected to this case. So I feel like, I hope one of them is singing like a bird, and I hope whatever they were looking for was found. I really do. It's mind-blowing. Very. Let's continue.
To be clear, Kentucky State Police are assigned to the Jason Ellis case and the Tommy Ballard case. The FBI is assigned to the Crystal Rogers case. Special prosecutor would not confirm to me which of those 3 cases this is in connection to, only that it is a search that he has authority over in relation to those 3 cases. So here's the vehicles you can see leaving. These are a lot like the vehicles we saw earlier today, coming and going from the property, that look a lot like unmarked police vehicles.
Okay, so I'm such a flip-flopper, guys. So now I'm wondering if it couldn't be in relation to Tommy because it's led by the special prosecutor. He is assigned to all 3 cases, but we do know that he is actively investigating the Tommy Ballard case because he brought up Nick Houck's connection. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that he would have said no, not necessarily Crystal, if it was Tommy? They have Tommy's body and they supposedly have the murder weapon. What more could they be digging for, though? I just don't feel like it's Crystal Rogers' body, though, because if it was, he wouldn't have said no, not necessarily Crystal Rogers. He would have just said it was in relation to one of the 3 and left it at that. Okay. I'll try to shut up for a minute and let her finish the last 4 minutes, guys.
The location we've been getting some questions about here. We are near the Nelson County, Bullitt County line. The car that just drove by had a lot of shovels in the back of it. And I'm looking for any signs on that car. I don't recognize it or see anything of note there. So again, we're near Nelson County, Bullitt County line. This is a tip that came in earlier today. It is Thompson Hill Road. Thompson Hill Road. This is in the Cox's Creek area, kind of near the line of Bullitt, Spencer, and Nelson counties, but technically this is Nelson County.
That's telling us to the location that I can look into later. We'll take note on that.
And if you're just now joining us, we are live on the site of the latest FBI search in connection to the Bardstown cases. We don't actually know.
So Ava says, do we know what kind of special prosecutor? Here we have specific types. It can tell you a lot about what they believe is happening. I think they gave him a title earlier. Let me play this a little longer and I'll get back to that. If someone remembers what they said, if you don't mind to put it in chat. I agree for Q, but Ava, give me a moment. Let me see if I can find that information for you.
Know which of the three, the Tommy Ballard case, Crystal Rogers case, or Jason Ellis case. Those are the three that Special Prosecutor Shane Young has authority over. He did confirm to me today that this search is in connection to one of those three cases. A lot of people on here have been asking about the Netherlands case. That's mother and daughter, Samantha and Kathy. I do not believe it would be in connection to that case, only because Shane Young was not assigned to work that case. He was assigned to work the other three. So I think it is probably one of the other three.
Okay, so in regards to him, the special prosecutor, Shane Young, is the Commonwealth's attorney for Hardin County, and that's a different county. So what they've done is they've brought one of the Commonwealth attorneys from a different county in because they've, I think, pretty much proved corruption in this area, and they've assigned him to investigate the Bardstown 3 murders that are unsolved. That's pretty much all it tells us. As far as different types where you're at, what kind of different types do they have, Ava? Let's see here. Let me push play again while we're waiting.
Giving you a look around here. Incredibly rural area, very quiet area. We've only seen a few neighbors. One of the neighbors told us this property has been vacant for some time. They said that there is a house and a trailer back there, and it has been vacant for some time. Using property records, we were able to look up the owner of the property, and it is not a name that I'm familiar with. That does not mean that the person's not connected. However, it's not a name that I am familiar with from my time of researching and working on this investigation.
Now, I feel like if it was someone that she was familiar with, that we would know, or a name that had been brought up before, because when Lawson, the first man that was arrested before Brooke Houck in the Crystal Rogers murder, when he was arrested, she said that it was a name that she had seen early on. So Shay's been on this since day one, and I really believe that we would know if this was a name connected. But we have to remember, some of these, it's been so long, you know, property could have changed hands. They could have had renters that are no longer there, things of that nature. And of course, in these crimes, I very seriously doubt that they're hiding anything on their property or something that can be connected to them, is my opinion.
Investigation. Things have certainly quieted down here, and I will be continuing to work to get more information on this. Like I said, we've seen heavy excavating equipment, multiple police vehicles. The police vehicle that just left had a backseat full of what it looked like shovels. So definitely a very busy day here. We don't know what they're looking for. We don't know if they found anything, and that's very typical of all of these FBI investigations. They never tell us exactly what they're looking for or what they find. Typically, we're just able to piece it together on our own. For an update on the three cases, as you know, Joseph Lawson and Brooks Houck have been arrested and charged in connection to Crystal Rogers' murder. Jason Ellis's case is still unsolved, and Tommy Ballard's murder is still unsolved. However, at the last court date for Brooks Houck, Special Prosecutor Shane Young, the same one who told me about this search today, confirmed the search to me. He mentioned that they were looking into Nick Houck's possible involvement in Tommy Ballard's murder. So there are a lot of moving pieces here. We're working to learn more. We're looking to find out exactly what ties this property might have to any of the cases. We're hoping to find out who has ties to this property, if any of those names are familiar at all. And we are working to get some more confirmation here. There's a lot developing. As you guys know, I always get on live. I fill you in as soon as I have anything. This is what we're working with right now. I will be live on WHAS 11 later this evening. And my next live update will be on my Instagram page, Shay McAllister. You can find me on Instagram. That is where you will find my next live update here, probably in an hour or so, as I continue to try to get some more information. For now, I'm going to log off of here. You guys know what I know. It's time to get back on the phones and see if we can learn anything else, okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you do have any specific questions or any information you think could be helpful, send me a message, drop it in the comments, and I'll work to get to it. We'll talk soon.
I'm thinking they did fork you. I'm thinking they did. So we have to remember the Joseph Lawson, he was in a motorcycle crash. I forget how long ago. So he's basically can't move from the neck down is my understanding. And then Brooks, of course, you know, you heard all the illegal stuff his family was doing and that he has done. And him being a multimillionaire, I wouldn't doubt that jail isn't getting uncomfortable. Now, I am a little surprised that he hasn't made bail. I know, Farq, you were here when I was discussing the original Crystal Rogers case, right? When I first discussed it. And that's when we found out that Crystal Maupin, Brooks Houck's wife, the one that was arrested, he was Crystal Rogers' boyfriend, for those of you who don't know. Crystal Maupin, she was arrested during the time that, early on in the Crystal Rogers case, for tearing down signs, missing signs. And yeah, she was charged with that. So that was very telling, you know. This whole case is just crazy. So crazy. Yeah, you were Farky, so you remember that. Let me see. I think I can get to that live. I'll share that live for those of you who want to know more about Crystal Rogers' case and know more of the up-to-date details. I'll share the link to the live in the comments here or in chat, and later on you guys can go look or whatever if you want to. That way I'm not repeating too much. Another thing I wanted to look at is a couple of the latest news videos, just to make sure we didn't miss any of the update. I doubt anybody has anything more than Shay, but you never know. And WHS did have another video, so let's see. There we go.
How can you trust the reviews you're reading? Introducing FakeSpot by Mozilla. Whether on your
And right now on WHAS 11 News at 6, we are following breaking news. The FBI and Kentucky State Police have been digging and searching on the property in connection to one of the unsolved Bardstown murder cases. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. It's our top story. I'm Doug Prophet. They are searching in Cox's Creek, Kentucky. That is in Nelson County. As you take a look at our map, the dig has been focused on this property off of Thompson Hill Road. It's right near the Nelson and Bullitt County lines. You can see the property butts up against a wooded area with a long gravel driveway heading right to the house. And that's where we find WHAS 11 Shay McAllister live tonight and photojournalist Jessica Farley. And Shay, what have you learned from the special prosecutor tonight?
Well, Doug, what we know right now is this may be the first time investigators have searched this particular property. We still don't know exactly why they're here, except for it has something to do with one of 3 unsolved cases from Bardstown. That's Jason Ellis, Crystal Rogers, or Tommy Ballard. Today, I spoke with both families, the Ballards and the Ellis family. They say they are interested, they are paying attention, and holding out hope that something found here today moves their case forward. Another massive dig in Nelson County with ties to at least one of the high-profile unsolved cases that have gripped the Commonwealth. From the Sky 11 drone, you can see the hole where FBI and Kentucky State Police have focused their efforts. Heavy excavation equipment brought in to move mounds of dirt and debris within a wooded area off of a rural road. Special Prosecutor Shane Young confirms his office initiated the search in connection to one of 3 cases. Ambush police officer Jason Ellis, missing mother of 5 Crystal Rogers, or her father, Tommy Ballard, killed while hunting. Till Ballard, Tommy's father, and Crystal's grandfather rushed to the site of the search as soon as he got the news. He told us his heart believes they're looking for Crystal.
I believe it has to be Crystal's remains because Jason Ellis, they buried him, and we buried Tommy, so she's the only one in Nelson County that's left.
Authorities kept this dig under the radar for days.
So that's
Neighbors say
interesting.
they first spotted police vehicles and construction equipment on.
So it looks like the family thinks that it's Crystal, but also, you know, it might be evidence, but that was an awful big hole they were digging, so I really don't know. I appreciate you listening, Level. That's all we do is research, man. That's what it's about. Let's see. Let me push play on this again. Sorry, guys. I got us off track there.
On site 3 days ago on Monday morning. Neighbors also shared investigators were focused on not 1, but 2 properties across the street from each other here on Thompson Hill Road. The Ballard family says the properties are unfamiliar to them, but they're holding out hope investigators are able to make an important connection.
I just hope the day comes that we can get her remains and bury her, and everybody involved in this pay for it the rest of their lives.
A sense of justice seemingly one step closer after another search in Nelson County. Officials have not yet told us what they're looking for or how long they could be here. What I can tell you is neighbors say Kentucky State Police never left this site unsecure until right now. That means this search could be over. Live in Nelson County with photojournalist Jessica Farley, I'm Shay McAllister, WHAS 11 on your side.
So that was kind of telling too, guys. She said that they had kept it secure until just then, so it's probably over. I thought I'd heard that. So what are y'all's thoughts? What are we thinking? Are we agreeing with the family that it's probably them searching for Crystal's remains? Is that what we think? Or do we think that it has to be related to Jason Ellis' case because they said that it was not known? Not necessarily. Or do you think he was just saying that so that they didn't know? See, I'm a flip-flopper, guys. I think I know it, and then, boom, I change my mind. Yeah, they're definitely not going to tell us nothing until this trial. I really can't wait till this trial. I really hope that I get to make it to it. I have it in the plans too. I really hope I do. I don't know what county they're having it in yet, but I'm willing to drive for this one. You think he was throwing off, and that's quite possibly because he's a really good investigator. He has cracked this case wide open, and this is exactly what corruption in Bardstown needed. Because we have to thank Nick. He was a member of law enforcement. So, yeah, it just stinks all the way around. Yeah. Also, another thing that I'm interested to see is we know Shay will eventually, if she finds any connection to the property, she will let us know. I just wonder if it'll be someone we've heard of in connection to this, or if it's a new player to the mix. Because Joseph Lawson was not on any of our radar until he was arrested, and Shay McAllister said that she had seen him early on, but who knows? Far Hugh thanks Crystal. We shall see, friend. We shall see. So did anybody have any questions about the Bardstown 3? Anybody interested in the Netherland girls? Because that touches on the update right there. And I don't mind during this live to touch on the Netherland girls because I know a lot of people believe that they are connected. And that's one that I'm going to dig tonight anyways, just because I don't know as much about it. So if that's something you all want to do with me, let me know. If not, I'll end it. But I don't mind to dig that one with you all as well. I'm actually going to go ahead and search up a video. You would like me to, Far Q? All right, I'm going to be digging it anyway, so I'll just stay live. if I remember correctly, we do have a couple YouTube videos that introduce this. Let me just make sure. This is completely on the spot, so bear with me, guys. We're going to have to find links. Let's go to the FBI page first. I like to start there with the bare bone facts. Netherland Girls, Kentucky. It was a gruesome, so trigger warning, guys, it was gruesome. Let's see, where's the FBI page? Okay, it's pretty far down there. Let's see if the Courier Journal will let us read this article from 2021 that they have. Yeah, it looks like they will. Let me share my screen here and let's use this article to introduce us to it here and just to refresh our memories on the dates and things. Looks like they have it in here. Oh, hang on. That was a Crystal Rogers case update. That was not the Netherlands. See, what they've done is they've tagged these girls onto a lot of other cases. So here, this one is from 2015. Let's try it. It's from CBS. It's a pretty well-known news source. Let me share my screen so that you guys can see them. Okay. I've heard it is far Q. I touched on it briefly and then I never dug it and I don't know why. I forget. I think it's because the updates in Crystal's case started coming out and I just couldn't stop. So the two that were murdered was Kathy Netherland and Samantha Netherland. Hang on. It's liable to take us somewhere else. If it does, I'll get us back. Okay. It says that a year after a mother and her teenage daughter were murdered in their Kentucky home, a reward for information leading to an arrest in the case has been raised to $50,000. Kathy Netherland, a 40-year-old special education teacher at an elementary school, and her 16-year-old daughter Samantha, a high school sophomore, were found slain in their Botland home on April 22nd. Investigators say that the two were killed around 8 p.m. the night before. Their causes of death have not been released and no arrests have been made. The initial reward in the case was $2,500. On Tuesday, the one-year anniversary of the murder, Holly Netherland, Kathy's oldest daughter, who was away at college at the time of the crime, pleaded for anyone who knows anything about the case to come forward. A year ago, on April 22nd, I got a call that shattered my life. My mother and sister were dead, Holly Netherland said, according to CBS affiliate with WLKY. The first thought that ran through my head was, God, you can't take them. You took my daddy. You can't have them too. Oh, I didn't realize she lost her family. Wow, what a blow. The killings of Kathy and Samantha Netherland came less than a year after Kathy's husband, who was also father to her two girls, died of cancer, according to the station. If you know something, I'm begging you to please come forward. Please give us closure, Holly Netherland said. Kathy Netherland's sister, Stacey Hibbert, told 48 Hours Crime Cider in October that she couldn't think of anyone who would want to harm her family members. It really is a whodunit. They just both seem to live lives that didn't put them in contact with people who would wish harm, she said. It's like someone went into the Leave It to Beaver household and attacked my family. Kentucky State Police Trooper Jeff Gregory previously told Crime Cider that while authorities hadn't identified any suspects or motive based on evidence, it seemed the victims were targeted. Gregory said in October that authorities were searching for what they believed to be a key to solving the case, a black Chevy Impala that was seen on surveillance driving away from the scene of the murders. Wow, so they have a car of interest? I didn't know that, and I didn't know that they had also came out and said that it was target it. I didn't know they came out and confirmed it wasn't random. No, it is heartbreaking. Okay. Goes on to say that anyone with information on the case is asked to contact authorities at 270-766-5078. Also, if you call 911, they will dispatch you to wherever you need to go. If you go to, I guess it would be the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office website, they have an anonymous tip line. Several ways, and it's been so long. If somebody knows something and you drop an anonymous tip, it doesn't hurt anything, and you're really not putting yourself that much at risk, in my opinion. Beautiful girl, beautiful lady. They sound like they were really good people. How sad. Oh, really? Farq says that she heard that there may have been a device that blocks calls. It may have been used. Interesting. Okay, let's see what more we can dig up on them. Here, let's see what's up here. This is one from Wave 3 in 2014. Trigger warning. It's not going to be for the faint of heart is what I think. So it just says gruesome. So if this is something you can't handle, I understand. Come back and see us in 10 minutes. I will Google that. Let's see. Call blocking devices. Sorry if you can hear me typing. StreamYard has worked their bugs out, and I can now just go live from my Chromebook and not have to worry about having two different devices. Let's see here. One, let's see, this came up. Let me just scan over this real quick. I did find an article that relates all four of them together, so let's go look at it if that's okay, and then we'll come back and dig some more over here if that's all right with you guys. Thanks, Ava. Yeah, I know the sound isn't probably the most pleasant, but of course, I love digging with you guys. It's a lot better than sitting here by myself. And I'm sure Lev will appreciate it because I'm not aggravating him to death. There's not many people that's up digging cases all the time like we are. Okay, let's see. Let's go over here before we read the death certificate information. And let's see how this one's connected to the Bardstown murders in this article. Because like I said, a lot of people think that they're connected. I don't know. I know Farq's familiar with this one, so she can let us know how she feels. I'm sorry, I keep calling you she, and I really just don't know. So I apologize if you're not. I guess I assume too much. We can watch this. Let's see what it tells us.
This year, let Ford make the holidays bright. Go over any type of terrain.
I'm an old she too. I love it. Cracking me up.
Go sport.
Hey, Dad.
How's the weather?
All good.
Let's see if pausing in a minute helps like it did earlier.
And the Ford Explorer with available seating for 7. And with power on demand in the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, well, that's how Ford is making the holidays bright. Now get a 23 F-150.
Farqi, that's what I'm going to identify as now as an old she. When I go to the doctor,
there's always
that's what I'm going to write on my papers
store.
now. It's happening. It's happening from now on. I identify as an old she.
Police are still investigating 3 other cases in Nelson County, including the murders of Kathy and Samantha Netherland. The mother and daughter were found bound and killed in their home in 2014. And then there's the case of Tommy Ballard, Crystal's father, who was killed in 2016, shot while on a hunting trip, and the ambush and murder of Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis 10 years ago. Ellis's family released a statement saying, in part, we have prayed fervently for 8 years that this day would come for Sherry Ballard. The strength, bravery, and fidelity Sherry's exhibited the past 8 years has continually renewed our family's resolve.
Oh, I guess that was me.
The Mets group represents the region.
Well, I should not have done. Give me a second, guys, and I'll pull that back up. Or I'll try to anyways. Okay, so this isn't the same article that we was just looking into, but let's look into this one. Sorry, if I skip around too much, you guys tell me and I'll go back to whatever. This is just kind of how I dig. Sorry, I'm ADHD. But I think this might be what FARQ was talking about. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Right. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see. So this one says that police driver caught on surveillance was inside house during the Netherland murders. Wow. So that's the black Chevy Impala, huh? Kathy and Samantha Netherland were brutally murdered at their Bardstown home in 2014. Their killer was never found. Let's skim through the article instead of watching the video this time. Sometimes there's a little bit more in the article. A Bardstown mother and daughter who had already gone through so much were attacked and brutally murdered in their home. No one knows why. No one knows who did it, and their cases are still unsolved. Just like your neighbor, no one had ever heard a bad thing about Kathy and Samantha Netherland. The two, police said, were beloved by those who knew them. That's what I've always heard anytime I look at anything into this is how nice, how good of people they were. They were two really good people who tried their best to make their surroundings better. Relative Stacy Hubbard said, Kathy was an elementary school teacher in Bardstown, and Samantha was a typical teen getting ready for prom and stressing over schoolwork. Their family was like any other, doing their best to stay positive even after recently losing the family patriarch to cancer. During the course of our investigation, we have seen that they are just upstanding citizens. Scotty Sharp with Kentucky State Police said, a student and a teacher just like your neighbor. The two's reputation made it all the stranger when Kathy did not show up for work one April morning. When police went to check on the teacher, they were shocked at what they saw. Kathy and Samantha, two people described as all that is good, brutally murdered in their own home. A gruesome scene. Absolutely heartbreaking, Sharp said. Samantha is a young, hopeful teenager who had been stabbed, her throat cut. Her mother, Kathy, had both knife and bullet wounds. The two had been beaten and killed. Wow. That just sounds so brutal. That sounds so personal. The details of their death were dark despite police finding no reason to connect them to any bad people or situations. There were few clues, but surveillance footage did catch a black car near the home that night. Whoever was in that car was in that house during the time this crime was committed, Jeremy Thompson of KSP said. See, that makes it sound very solvable to me. Police were never able to find the car or a suspect in their case. People speculated that the two might have been connected to Jason Ellis or that a family member might have killed them. Police said Samantha's older sister, Holly, has worked with investigators to try and find answers. Everybody is a suspect to a certain extent, Sharp said, but I can say that the older daughter has been cooperative with the investigation and has talked to us and spoken to us and keeps in touch with us at all times. Not to mention, I'm sure that they've, that she's got an alibi. She was at college at the time, so I'm sure she went there alone. That's very rarely the case with a girl her age. Still, no connections or rumors were enough for an arrest. I miss them more than anybody in the world, Holly Netherland said. No one realizes just how much I wish I could trade places with them. The mystery continues. Locals said the story of the Netherlands' death shook the town. How could such a sweet, innocent person be so viciously attacked and killed? Or people be so viciously attacked and killed? Like the Jason Ellis murder, that floored the community because they weren't bad people, local blogger Richard Caldwell said. There was nothing about their public personas that suggests that, and the fact that they died so gruesomely, the fact that kind of thing could happen right here in this area, it shocked a lot of people. Just 7 months after their deaths, the Netherlands home was sold in an auction for $41,000. A new playground was also dedicated to Kathy the next year. People continued to push on, but their murders would not be the last to disturb Bardstown. The Ballard family traces two tragedies within 2 years: the disappearance of Crystal Rogers and the murder of their father, Tommy Ballard, just over a year later. WAHS 11 will spotlight their family stories next on Bardstown. Okay. So that is 5 unsolved murders, 4 unsolved cases in Bardstown. So, I don't know if I feel like they're connected or not. I know, isn't the going theory that they think that the corruption, whoever is behind the corruption, thought that Jason Ellis, or that, was involved in Jason Ellis, and then it was believed that the Netherland girls was in connection to that one because Kathy was the school teacher of Jason's daughter. It seems like I've heard that somewhere, seen that on Reddit. I'm not sure. I dug Reddit in the beginning on this, but I forget what all it said. If we got time, we'll go there as well. Let me pull up this article about the death certificate. It's probably going to give us those gruesome details that was in this article, but let's just see if there's anything more there. Okay. Farq doesn't think they're connected, as she thinks this is more personal. It is a lot more brutal than the other ones. The other ones was kind of done at a distance, so that is telling. This article is from 2014. There's Kathy. Samantha. The car. There's the car. This surveillance photo of the suspect vehicle police are searching for is a 2006 to 2013 model year Chevy Impala. I can't remember hearing what, Farq. I can't remember hearing about the car, but I don't. Oh, you can't remember hearing about the teacher, about her being the teacher of his daughter. We'll go over to Reddit. I may have just seen it in a comment, so it's nothing that's been confirmed, and I don't think I've seen it in a news article. It's probably in a comment. I'm bad about reading comments and looking at the rumors as well as the facts, just to kind of try to see what I think about stuff when I'm digging it. Okay, it says graphic details of how a Nelson County mother and her teenage daughter were killed inside their home in April are now public. The murders of Kathy and Samantha Neverland remain unsolved. According to death certificates obtained by Wave 3 News, 48-year-old Kathy Netherland was shot multiple times. Her 16-year-old daughter Samantha was beaten in the head. Both of them had cuts to their necks. The fact that they were killed so heinously makes KSP wonder if it was personal. That's not something we've ruled out either. That's a good possibility, said Trooper Jeff Gregory. Police said the Netherlands were murdered around 8 p.m. on the evening of April 21st at their home in Nelson County's Botland community. Their bodies were discovered by a family member. Samantha Netherland was a sophomore at Bardstown High School. Kathy Netherland taught special education at Bardstown Elementary School. Trooper Gregory says that there are several detectives working the case following leads and that they haven't ruled out any suspects as of now, but they are leaning towards a theory that multiple people have been involved. Wonder why they led that theory. I know that they said that the suspect in the vehicle was inside the home, is their belief, but They're saying multiple people. Troopers released a photo of the suspect vehicle taken from the video surveillance. Anyone who owns, had access to, or knows someone who was operating a 2006 to 2013 model year Chevy Impala matching this photograph on April 21st, 2014 should contact KSP at 270-766-5078. And again, there is the Chevy Impala. If you know someone that was driving a car like that around that time, you can leave an anonymous tip. You can call and never give your name, and they will take your tip. I can almost guarantee you. And if they don't, shame on them. Okay. Wow. It seems like that they have good evidence, and it's been this long, and you have a picture of the car. That, to me, that's just mind-blowing. And to me, that's very telling of the corruption in Bardstown. I mean, 'tis what it is. And when this is a going thing, it's not far-fetched to say there was corruption. Obviously, they don't bring a special prosecutor in for nothing. Someone does for you. Someone has seen that car. Absolutely. Or someone was the person driving that car. And if you were the person driving that car and you didn't do this or you weren't in that house, I'd be calling and making the anonymous tip of that too, because they've put you at the scene, bud. What I'm doing now is I'm going to see what's on Reddit, if that's okay with everyone. No, it had a lot of details, I think. Okay, here we go. This sharing, yeah, my screen sharing still. Okay. So this is a Reddit thread on the case of Kathy and Samantha Netherland, mother and daughter double homicide, possibly connected to the Bardstown 3. I said it's mind-blowing that it gets no media attention, but now the special prosecutor in one of the articles about Crystal Rogers did say that he was not on that case because the FBI was never asked by the family to be on the case. So take that how you like. Okay, they're just talking about who they try to get attention from for this case. Let's see what people say. So here, there is widespread suspicion that Crystal Rogers was murdered by Brooks Houck. We do know that he is now, this was a year ago, but we do know now at this time he is arrested. His brother Nick may have been involved either directly or after the fact. The boyfriend is always a good suspect to start with, and the Houck brothers appear to have some untruths during police interrogation. Still, they haven't been charged. Now we know that one has. Hopefully a second will be. It seems extremely likely that the murder of Crystal's father is related to her murder. He was actively beating the drum about her murder and law enforcement's inability to solve the crime. The actual execution of the crime bears undeniable similarities to the murder of Officer Ellis. Both were shot by someone who, laying in wait, and knew the target would be there. Nick Hoke was an officer in the same department as Ellis, but was not known to have issues with him. If Crystal's murder was simple domestic, there is nothing else to tie it to the Ellis murder. The Ellis murder appears to have been set up by someone familiar with police procedures who knew where he would be at that time. I agree with that. There is a certain suspicion that a fellow law enforcement... Okay, Farky, you're good. It is our suspicion that a fellow law enforcement officer was involved. There is significant police corruption in Kentucky. I agree with that. Being a Kentuckian, there is, even in my little podunk area. And a lot of it involves drugs. Ellis's primary role beyond routine patrol was to pull over suspicious vehicles and search for drugs. He did not appear to investigate drug trafficking beyond the small-time local level. The Netherlands were about as low-risk homicide victims as you are going. Ellis's wife may have substituted at the school where Kathy worked. Otherwise, there are no connections between them and anyone involved in any of the other cases. Okay, so that's what it was about the school. Maybe I got those details wrong. It looks like rumor is that Ellis's wife may have substituted at the school where Kathy worked, and that would be the only connection that they would know. The vehicle captured on the CCTV is the murder vehicle, but law enforcement is satisfied that it wasn't owned by any resident of the general Bardstown region. There is some speculation that 16-year-old Samantha was the primary target. There appeared to be nothing in her life to motivate murder. On the surface, the Rogers appear connected, while the others are not, but until at least one is solved, there would be that suspicion that there's something deeper and more sinister going on in Bardstown. This person is just talking about gang initiation murders and how that they're more urban legend than reality. Says kind of random, but if I'm remembering it right, months before they were killed, Mom posted a picture of their storm door because the glass had been shattered. People commenting seemed alarmed, but she didn't, and I think she thought the wind blew the door in and that was accidentally left open or something. Then someone in Unsolved Mysteries looked into the historical weather data for that day and night and the location and did some math with how hard the wind gusts would have been to slam that door with a force to break the glass, and it was 100% impossible based on the conditions, the direction the door swung and the direction the wind blew, etc. Wow. See, I dig these cases, but I don't dig them that deep. I wish I had the know-how too. Point being that it seemed there had been a previous attempt to break in the Netherlands home to kill them that had been abandoned. So this just wasn't premeditated. There was basically a dress rehearsal, just terrifying, all of it. The town is beyond sketchy, and its odd story is more of a footnote in Bardstown saga. They wanted to corrected time frame of door incident. Gotcha. Looks like they found a body at some point they thought was related, but it isn't. Okay, so the reason they're talking about gang initiation murders is the word is that an anonymous prison inmate said that it was a gang initiation murder. Extremely credible theory. Yeah, I just don't know that I know they break into houses or something. I don't know. People's just talking about the lack of information. Just skimming through to see if there's anything new. The thing that would connect all these murders would be drugs. Through Kentucky is a corridor for the drug trade. Crystal definitely heard or seen something, and Brooks had to get rid of her. I think maybe the Netherlands seen something too. Jason was probably suspicious of Nick, and of course Crystal's dad was killed because he was getting close to figuring out what happened to Crystal. The gang initiation angle comes from a single anonymous jailhouse informant, and I don't think it's what happened. The police have used language that suggests they think it was one person. No, that wasn't right 90s fun. They actually think multiple people were involved is what we just read, unless there's an update that I haven't seen. Someone said, wonder if any foreign DNA to the family members killed was retrieved. Let's see what this is about. Driver caught on surveillance was inside house during the Netherlands murders. Yeah, how'd they know they was inside the house? They had to have something, huh? That's a good point. See, this is a lot being read. Sorry, give me just a second. We've done read that. So we can go back to Reddit here. Yeah, you all can still see Reddit. We've done read that article. It's the same one that's just talking about them. I went down somewhat of a Bardstown rabbit hole recently. I can't find anywhere that says whether or not they did a tower dump warrant in Alice's case. What's a tower dump warrant? Let's look that up. I'm curious as to that. Oh. Privacy in the dumps, analyzing cell tower dumps. Cell phones that connect to cell towers at 5 locations at a particular time to determine the identity of suspects involved in multiple acts of sex trafficking and assault. This warrant request, by its very nature and name, a tower dump, sweeps broadly and may collect information on them all. Okay, so that's cell phone information. It's a tower dump. Never knew that. Okay, and that's all on the Reddit thread. I would like to come back later live or another time and really dig their case from the beginning. That would be cool. I just don't have the time to do it tonight, right now. What I will do later, though, is find the area where their house was and try to bring it up on the map so that we can look at it next time we discuss them. But before I close out tonight, we had a wonderful Madalina Cojocari update come out, an updated article. Not sure how we got it, but we're glad to hear anything nonetheless. But it does kind of restore some hope in the case. So anybody that was watching Madalina the other night, this is missing Madalina Cojocari, 11-year-old from North Carolina. I think she's 12 now. I don't have my experts on, so I don't remember all the details. I'm not the expert in that case. However, there was a uplifting update today that I thought I would share with you guys before I get off here. So I'll go ahead and play the video, if it'll allow me to.
We're supposed to meet a new baby granddaughter for the first time.
Our TV camera stopped working. We'll take care of it. She's precious.
Oh, thanks, guys.
No more malarkey. Call Mr. Sparky.
Tonight, a rare sit-down interview with an investigator
No more
closely
malarkey.
connected to
Call
the
Mr.
Madalina
Sparky.
Cojocari case.
Our
Cracks
Armando
me
has
up.
been working on this for weeks now. Emma, this detective told you some surprising things about this investigation.
Yeah, Morgan, from where she thinks Madalina is to why they searched the little girl's home. My interview with Major Jennifer Thompson is a story you'll only see on WCCB.
I think it would be a disservice to Madalina if we lost hope. And we're just not going to do that.
This is Major Jennifer Thompson. She doesn't often talk to reporters, but she did agree to talk with me about perhaps the biggest case the Cornelius Police Department has ever worked on. A case that she believes can still be solved. Not only solved, but have a happy ending.
I believe she's alive. I do. I believe it in my heart. And that's not one, it's not one of those feelings where that's just what I want to believe. It's truly what I believe.
It's been 379 days since then 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari was last seen here on security camera video getting off her school bus. Her parents didn't report her missing for weeks. Thompson says the first 48 hours in any case are critical. In Madalina's case, those hours were gone. Thompson tells me her team decided to start at the girl's home.
I can't go into details about specifically what we saw and what we observed or what felt odd in the house. But still, that's Madalina's house. So
I think we can safely assume that the apartment that was being built is the one in the house that they were found odd.
we knew that that's where we needed to start with the investigation.
Thompson tells me she was one of the first investigators to question Diana Cojocari and Christopher Palmater, Madalina's parents.
I won't comment specifically on their demeanor, but again, you have to remember that she wasn't reported missing. You know, neither one of them reported her missing. So you can take that for, you know, however you want.
Cornelius police arrested Madalina's parents on a charge of failure to report their child missing in December of 2022. I asked Thompson if letting the couple stay out of jail could have led to more clues.
So I stand by the decision that we made in arresting the parents.
Diana Cojocari remains in jail. Palmater made bail in August of this year.
I was really surprised he hadn't made bail before that. You know, he had that right.
Thompson says investigators legally cannot question Palmater again right now, but she does have a message for Madalina.
I want Madalina to know that there's a lot of people looking for her. There's a lot of law enforcement working this to bring her home. And if she's able to see it, I want her to know that she has a whole community that loves her and an agency that is devoted to bringing her home.
Now, Thompson tells me that Diana Cojocari is expected in court in February. She says while the case is still very active, the only way to keep it that way is to continue the conversations about Madalina. Any information you might know that is helpful to the investigation, that number for the Cornelius Police Department is on your screen.
Emma Mondo reporting live in studio tonight. Emma, thank you.
Okay, so we now know that she believes that Maddie is alive, and she has actually sent a message for Maddie, and I think that's pretty exciting. Also, there was, let me see if I can bring it up here on Facebook real quick. There was a message to Maddie from someone. I'll have to bring it up, though. Give me just a moment. Let me share my screen here. I was about to read in there, not sharing it with you guys. Sorry.
Every minute and every hour, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. Oh. Every minute and every hour, I miss you.
That was not it, but give me just a second. Okay, here's the post that I seen earlier. Okay, so an admin of the Where is Madalina Cojocari group. I'll leave the link to the group in the description. Please come join and show your support for Madalina. I said this post is from one of Madalina's family members. I would like to keep them confidential. If you know who it is, please leave them alone and show them respect, but I want her voice to be heard here. 1 year gone, November 21st, 2023. One of the greatest tragedies in life, I believe, are those terrible voids which leave unanswered questions. Why did this happen? Why you? Why now? Why? These are the unfortunate events and unsettling memories that have haunted me at night. These thoughts preoccupy my mind and weigh heavily on the heart and spirit each day. These are questions that may unfortunately never have answers. That is a hard pill to swallow. This is hard to imagine how the world can just roll on, presumably unaware of this deception. Minutes have turned into days and agonizing months have passed. 1 year gone, seemingly you're missing without a trace, but someone knows. I feel the tragic vacuum of loved ones gone too soon or without explanation. I feel the deepest sadness and despair that comes of such a loss, the paralyzing desperateness of not being able to do anything to resolve the hurt and grief. Enjoying happiness feels like a betrayal until I cannot stand the sadness any longer. I too must carry on. I too must trudge forward and hope to find some sort of peace amidst the senseless unknowing. I need a new way to refrain from my grief. I need a different perspective, a shift, a lens through which gratitude can become the focus. Life is going to roll on. It always does. I won't give up hope, but I need to begin to shift my focus on all the things I love about you. I'm grateful to have been present to witness your immense love of animals and Mother Nature, your infinite energy and excitement to learn, your boundless loving spirit and willingness to share, your love of drawing and using lots of vivid colors. I choose to believe that you would want everyone happy to have happy memories of you. So I choose to believe you will one day have peace despite the betrayal of your innocent young life. We love you and we miss you, your beautiful face. I believe you will be found and have justice. Fond, Madalina. And that, again, was from a family member that the group wished to leave confidential. Hi, Karen Marie. How are you? We've been touching on the Bardstown 3 update tonight and the Bardstown 3, the Netherlands girls case from Bardstown, and I just played the Madalina Cojocari update. Kind of got through at the end here. Sorry. I was originally scheduled at 11:20, but came on a little earlier. But now we know that the investigator believes that Madalina Cojocari is still alive. And that statement was from her family. So now we finally have a statement from the family. I know he's a little harsh on them last night or the night before last, but, you know, we wanted answers. We wanted something to be said about Madalina and what happened. Today we got a statement from the investigator, the chief of police at the time, or the interim chief of police, however you say that. Oh, I'm good, Karen. I've had a pretty good day. This update on Madalina, it was a welcomed one to restore a little hope to us. We had an update in the Bardstown 3. There was a search going on Thompson, I think it's Thompson Hill Road on the Nelson County, Bullitt County, Spencer County line. Looks like they had an excavator out there digging. Hopefully there's some more movement in those cases. So it's been a great day. Great day. But guys, that's really all I have for tonight. If you don't mind, if you like the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Everyone definitely needs to know about all the cases we talk tonight and be talking about them, because that's how I feel like we keep them alive and keep eyes on them. Later on tonight, I might be back on if I dig the Netherland girls some more, or if I can find their house on Google Maps or something, you know, just for us to kind of dig that. If not, it'll probably be tomorrow or the next day, but I appreciate everyone who stopped by. I appreciate everyone that sent people by. I've enjoyed digging these cases with you all tonight, and I will be back soon. So everyone have yourself a good night, and thanks for digging with me.